Hey guys, Sean Yu back here. We just got our top 8 brackets updated. The semis were lightning fast, 2 aggressive decks on both sides of the brackets.
Made up a little for that marathon quarterfinals
So
match.
mono green aggro, 2-seed Mike Kiesel is going to have the play against Jason Schumacher on blue red Cyclops. And I'm joined back here with Chris Cornejo. So we're going to just go back in the booth and say hi to you guys.
Hello, hello.
All right.
So who do you like in this one?
I think I like the mono green deck. Cyclops really needs to punch a few big attacks through, but it doesn't really have evasion, and there are a lot of creatures in the green deck.
Jason's version of this deck has a decent amount of evasion. He's playing the card that gives a creature shadow, if I can find his deck list.
Oh, wow.
Shadow Rift.
Okay.
Yeah, things like that. Apostle's Blessing against a monocolor deck does very well.
Yeah. And let's see, Mike is on the right side again?
Yeah, Mike's going to stay in his seat.
Okay. And let's go ahead and get this fixed for you guys.
If Mike has a decent shot here, it's because he remains on the play, so hopefully he can just get a bunch of small creatures through. Jason has a bunch of lightning bolts and a couple of trickeries on the board, things like that that can help clear the field. But if Mike can just flood the board with a bunch of small things, Jason needs to be able to essentially kill Mike in one big turn to have a shot. So this match is going to entirely depend, or not entirely, but largely depend on the quality of Jason Schumacher's opening hands. If he can keep up with Mike in any real way, land an early Kiln Fiend with the 3 spells required, the third one being Teamer Battle Rage, Jason is playing, which allows him to just double strike 10 somebody off 3 spells.
That's certainly an option. These guys are gonna
Shuffling up right now.
conclude a long day with hopefully a very climactic set of games.
Yes. One thing is for sure, this is not going to go terribly long in either direction.
You don't expect either player to end up decking?
This is not a grind fest. This is not.
Right.
This is essentially the exact opposite of all of the other Axe Churches we've done in the finals and semifinals. Neither of these are a control deck. Neither of them are grind fests. This is pure, I'm going to try to kill you by turn 5.
Yeah, let's see if we have any reference as far as whether these decks have faced each other in the past. So, Mono Green Aggro has played against Blue Red Cyclops. It is 1 and 2 against it, so it's based on previous results, maybe slightly in Jason's favor.
Yeah.
How did these guys get to the finals? Well, Mike Kiesel lost round 1, and then he had to win out the rest of the day. Lost to Tortured Existence, beat Affinity, beat Burn, beat Blue Black Delver, beat Petal Festival, beat Mono Blue Delver, and just took out 2 Mono Black decks, both of the top 8 competitors, to reach the finals. As far as Jason, he was playing Blue Red Cyclops, as you can see, and he started on camera actually in round 1 against our previous finalist, Aleko Pors, beating the mono blue player today.
He had a little bit easier time. He took his only loss in round 3, so he was able to ID into the finals.
Yeah, and he actually avenged his round 3 loss because that was a semis opponent, Jacob Roberts. It looks like these guys are ready to start. Mike Kiesel leads with a Forest into a Vault Scourge. That's a Vault Scourge, right?
Yeah, it is Vault Scourge. 1/1 Flying Lifelink.
So one of the few non-green decks in this mono-green Stompy deck, but due to the wonders of Phyrexian mana, you can play it.
Yes, I actually like this a lot in this matchup. That is a great creature to lead with. The lifelink can matter a lot because it can be the difference of getting an extra draw step, getting in with an extra turn to swing. Let's see. Evolving Wild, so Jason is off to a bit of a slow start. This is Mike's chance to get in for some damage.
Oh, a Rancor.
Rancor.
3-point lifespan. That's a Lightning Helix every turn. It's going to send Mike up to 21, Jason down to 17.
Jason needs to have a bolt in hand or else that's going to get out of hand real fast for him.
Now, he's going to go with a Bloodthirsty Creature. Rancor, having already hit the battlefield, it's going to do a lot of work.
Rancor is its annoying old self at this point. It will keep going on Mike's creatures until Jason can find a way to counter it or make Mike discard it, which in his deck is not terribly likely.
Yeah, you could also try to fizzle it on resolution.
I don't think... Okay, so Jason has 2 Dispels main. And that is his only counter package in the main board. So Rancor is here forever.
Now, Apostle's Blessing, can you actually use that on your points creatures? I don't think you could, but...
I believe it's a creature you control. Gets...
Yeah, unfortunately, he can't use it defensively against Rancor.
Correct.
So Jason fetches this island at the end of Mike's turn. He's going to lead with a Jataxian Pope, paying full retail 1 blue mana, sees a grasp of Nettle Sentinel, Quirion Ranger, and...
Is that a River Boa? Or is that the
Mire
Boa? Mire Boa, yeah, that's right.
River Boa, much better in this matchup, but Mire Boa still can regenerate.
Just being able to keep creatures around is good,
Yeah.
and I like Jason paying the blue for that because his life total is going to be extremely relevant.
Well, it's a little bit awkward now because he can't play a bigger, more removal spells, so there's a bit
Did he have a bolt? He saw some more red cards. Don't know if that was a bolt or not,
Maybe
though.
a Flame Slash? No, he doesn't run any of these.
Nope.
Well, in any case, Mike's going to take the turn, untap his permanents.
I do like the one main board gut shot for Jason.
Yeah. It's going to crash in 4/5 with 3 of it being in lifelink form. This is going to send him to twice Jason's life total, 24-12. Things stand right now. Mike probably has some other things he wants to do in the second main.
You are very right. Schieber, you have a very long handle. Jason's other way of getting rid of Rancor is bolting or gut-shotting the creature as it's being cast on it.
Yeah. Basically, he needs to fizzle it somehow.
Yeah. All right, so untapping, replaying that force with Quirion Ranger, untapping his Vault Scourge, and lets him play that Mire Boa.
Interesting. This is a really cool play from Mike. He actually had a force in hand, but he elected to conceal that information with that Quirion Ranger activation, sending a force to hand, allowing him to make another land drop.
That might force Jason to keep up an island for possible dispel if he has it, things like that. Every card out of Mike's hand is a huge threat. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And even more importantly, Jason just attacks and probe. His draw was the force, so he really wants to conceal the fact that Jason knows his entire hand.
Yes, it's a very heads-up play by Mike.
Yeah,
Jason
what a play.
needs this Nivik Cyclops stick around and be super relevant. Otherwise, Mike is about to run away with this game. Mike has had the exact kind of draw he needs to have.
Well, when you're on the defensive, why not play a creature with Defender, right?
Oh, it's a sneaky one. I played Nivik Cyclops all the time when it was in Standard. That was my favorite deck.
Mike crashes in with his 2/2 creature because it has, I guess, that menace.
So that weird, you cannot block it unless your power is equal to it, means Nivik Cyclops, despite being Defender, can't actually do it.
Yeah.
Northwest Dork is correct. Mike is actually straight in danger of dying, although the fact that he's gaining all of this life is making Jason's job a lot harder.
He also has blockers.
Yes, he does have blockers. He can soak up some of the trample that'll happen from Temur Battle Rage.
Yep. All right, so Jason is going to peel well here. I think he's going to start with some Jataxian
Another
probes.
Cyclops.
Maybe running Jataxian probes. And Jason asked to move his lands around. Looks like got a Cyclops now on the offensive. That's why it's in front of the lands. Obviously, this is a good reflection of your strategy.
Exactly. So let's see. Jason can play land. He has a bunch of creatures in his hand, which, weirdly enough, is not what this deck wants.
Is he holding some snap? No, he doesn't run any main deck snaps.
He plays Gush.
Gush. Okay, here's a Gush. Here's a trigger. Floating 2 blue mana.
Floating
Gush.
2 blue is going to pick
Picking
these up.
2 lands. And draw 2 cards for the turn.
Was that a
Lightning
bolt? Bolt can help stop the bleeding a little bit, but he's going to need some more.
All right, so Cyclops
Action.
up to 4/3 right now. He is holding a Temur Battle Rage, right?
Do believe he did have the Temur Battle Rage in hand.
So that will make it a 7 power with double strike alone, and Ferocious is clearly turned on.
Yes.
So that's only half of Mike's life total.
He is a little choked on mana,
Red.
however.
He needs more red.
He has the 2 blue floating. He has a red. He needs another mountain or something.
And that or something.
So let's see. So right now it's a 4/3. If he plays Temur Battle Rage, it's a 4/4. It'll be a 7/4 with Temur Battle Rage. If he casts one more spell, it's a 10/4. Swinging in for a potential 20. Mike's life gain, though super relevant, though. He needs 2 more spells on top of that to just one-shot Mike. And he is in the awkward position of, if he doesn't kill Mike this turn, Mike's swing will likely kill him.
Agreed.
Let's see if Jason can concoct some kind of plan to stay alive here. He has the one bolt. Do you wait for Mike to attack and then bolt?
Well, Mike is sitting here maybe nervously because there's some stuff on the line here. But on the other hand, he's probably very happy because if Jason just had it, he would slam it on the table and they'd probably be moving on to game 2. And that doesn't look like that's the case.
Correct. Let's see. I'm trying to think how Jason stays alive. So Jason can... Is he just going to cast another Cyclops?
Yeah, it looks like
Get
it.
some blocks going?
And then he's going to play another land, picked up with Gush, ship the turnover.
So this means that he's essentially giving up blocking the Vault Scourge and the Pit Skulk.
Well,
so
if he could play an instant speed
has
card.
to discard there.
Yeah, if he could play an instant speed
Anything.
With
Instant or
Blue,
sorcery. Yeah.
he could block the Pit Skull.
It's true. He is taking another 3 from the Vault Scourge, most likely.
Yes.
And that is putting Mike farther and farther out of reach.
Does he have a Vapor Snag? Oh, no.
I don't
not in
believe
his
so.
deck. Yep.
Vapor Snag. Has Vapor Snag ever been printed at common? I don't think so.
Vapor Snag has been printed in common. So I've definitely
Oh, one of the
seen
dual
it on-
decks, that's right.
And New Phyrexia, it looks like. Or, no.
That had to have been an uncommon in New Phyrexia. No, wow, I guess it wasn't. Jeez. So if Mike swings with everything right now, that's 1, 2... Meyer Bow is a 1-1 or a 2-1?
2-1.
2-1?
It's River Bowl except
So-
Swamp Walk instead of Island Walk.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7 coming in on the ground with another 3 in the air.
So it looks like he could go down to 1.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If Mike has any trick in hand, he is not good. But Mike is sadly flooded. However, going down to 1 is probably going to be a pretty big deal. He regenerates the Meyer Boa.
Yeah, that's a heads up play. It's going to send him down to 1. And now Jason's got 2 copies of the Cyclops. Every instant or sorcery he plays is going to deal 6.
Yes. So
Now, keep in mind that Quarian Ranger can't untap one of his other
And here we
creatures
go.
to
Yep.
allow for shenanigans. Interestingly, he untapped the No Sentinel because he has no other way to untap the No Sentinel. He's holding 2 forests.
Yes.
If Jason is savvy, he probably picked up on this fact because otherwise he would untap something else and play a green spell to untap the No Sentinel.
Correct.
He does not
so-
untap the Vault Scourge yet because he has the ability to activate Quarian Ranger on Jason's turn. The restriction once per turn applies.
On your opponent's turn as well.
Yeah, so he could have a surprise blocker that also swings life in his favor.
So let's see. Jason is going to have a total of 3 mana to work with. What can he do?
Well, the Fraction mana is cut off now, at least for its.
Alternate cost.
Yes.
So he needs to. So he cannot cast Apostle's Blessing, cannot cast Mutagenic Growth, cannot cast Gataxian Probe, cannot cast Gut Shot unless he pays the red.
Distracting
So-
Probe off the blue is also an option, albeit not a very attractive one. And here we have ringing endorsement from the chat. Elf Archer is a fan of Quarian Ranger.
Why shouldn't he be?
Why
Quarian
shouldn't he
Ranger
be?
is fantastic.
Yep.
Let's see. So the only way Jason has at the moment to force through damage is Shadow Rift outside of removal like Lightning Bolt. Shadow Rift can make one of his creatures unblockable.
Yeah. It's another Tempest
Well,
card that I really
Shadow,
enjoy
which
back-
is essentially unblockable in this matchup.
Yeah. Green was not well known for its shadow cards.
No.
It had the Thalicos, the Dothi, and the Sotari.
And that was pretty much it. So, preordain, let's see if Jason can find something to help him here. Another bolt. It's not the worst, but it's a little late.
Yeah.
Sends them both to the bottom,
Draw off the preordain.
hoping
What
he
you got
can
here?
draw one of his sideboarded electricities, I guess.
Oh yeah, that would help a little bit.
I don't know what he's going to be able to do. He can try gushing again, but I don't know what you draw at this point to get you out of this.
What's that red? That's a Kiln Fiend he's holding, right? Because it looks
Yes.
a lot like a Pyroclasm.
It is a Kiln Fiend. Pyroclasm, not legal in the format.
Ah.
I don't believe so.
I
anyway.
think Pyroclasm is legal, actually.
It has been a common? Wow.
Let's figure this out.
I mean, no. All right, let's see. So here goes what we thought was going to happen.
So Mike's going to be a little bit conservative. There's no reason to let your opponent mise a game with a 29-point life total in your defense.
Yes.
So he's going to untap that Vault Scourge, send in 2 blockers.
Oh, he's
just
going to
try
double block one. That will actually kill it unless Jason gives it double strike. What's he paying a blue for? Oh, we're gushing. Yep.
Gush, see if you can dig a little bit deeper. Storm is 2. Storm not particularly relevant, but it's a great way to indicate the number of Cyclops triggers.
Yes. So since this is in the middle of combat, Jason can't play a land to generate more mana. He does have another Teamer Battle Rage,
I think he also played a land for the turn, so
he should have had 2, because he... Did he?
I think he gushed 2 turns ago, and
'Cause
made land up last turn.
Played the Cyclops and then gushed and played a land. So I believe he has a land drop left, but as we are in the
you
middle...
are correct.
Because we are in the middle of combat, that's not terribly relevant. Jason could Teamer Battle Rage the unblocked one or even the blocked one, but either way, Mike will live and have enough attackers to get to game 2.
And he's going to scoop them up. So what do you like here as Jason? I think potentially the Stormbound Geist?
Stormbound Geist, I think, is great. Anything you have that can be a reusable blocker is going to be very good. Obviously, the Flame Slashes are probably coming in. Trickery is very good against Mike's board. The Young Wolves are very annoying in this case, but even just clearing them out so other things can kill them or block them is relevant. None of the Hydro or Pyroblast come in because they do absolutely nothing except contribute to Storm. Remind me what Flaring Pain does. That one I don't...
This prevents damage.
Stops damage from being prevented.
Prevents
That's right.
damage prevention, yeah, and has a flashback.
So don't care about that in this matchup. Negate could be a thing if you want to try to stop Rancors.
I think potentially you could consider it on the play, but I don't think it's anything you could go with on the draw.
No. He is on the play this turn, so we might bring it in. Dispel, maybe Mike is running some instant speed pump.
Yeah. So just take a look. These guys, as we indicated, are in the finals. Jason defeated blue mono black control mono blue Delver to reach this point, and Mike Kizo beat 2 mono black Delvers, mono black control decks,
yeah,
in order to claim the right side of the bracket. These guys are currently atop the standings. 1 and 2, we're still figuring this out. Jason can run off 2 straight games. He'll be the champ.
Yes.
And then here we have records, Swiss records for Siege 3 through 16 displayed.
Yep. I am so glad that John O'Connor did not make it, and I don't care if he hears this, because all of his matches went to time. He was the worst.
I think we had a camera match with him which actually went to...
That was the only match where he did not go into turns to finish, yeah. And at least 3 of his matches he won in 1 and a draw. As a TO and a judge, John O'Connor, I'm looking to DQ you from the next Legacy event you join. Okay. So shuffling up here. No problem. So yes, Mike will definitely be bringing in those tangles, I believe, on that side of all of this. Oh, not Tangle Sap. Tangle Sap. So, let's look up Tangle here, which is going to be the most relevant card that Mike will bring in. And if Jason sees this, he might bring in those Flaring Pains. But I don't think that Jason is going to think of Tangle in Mike's sideboard right away. Maybe. I don't know how much these guys talked before this. Yeah, if Jason is really on his game, he might bring in the Flaring Pain, but I don't know. Based on what he saw, I don't know if you think of Tangle. I don't know if you think of Mike as a deck that bothers running Fogs. While they continue shuffling, let's get another look at Mike's sideboard since we didn't talk too much. But oh, nope, they're pretending. Never mind. Too late. I love you too, John. It's okay. I understand. Pauper's a weird format. Jason fanning his card out in the smiley face. We always appreciate it. All right, so Nokley knows that Okay, so Jason might bring in the Tangles then, or is much more likely to bring in the Tangles since he knows the 75 that Mike is on. Jason once again leading off with Involving Wild. I guess if you have to play a land that comes in tap, turn 1 is the time to do it. This is looking very familiar as Mike leads off with a Vault Scourge again. Let's see what Jason goes to grab. Mike, fan out your hand again so I can see what's in it. Young Wolf. All right, so we determined that Jason knows Mike's 75, which means that he is likely to maybe bring in the Flaring Pain since he knows Mike is running Tangle.
Ah. So if Mike loses due to not having this Tangle tech as in secret, he can blame Russ Martin, aka Knockley?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Russ.
All right, Jason, I don't know if I didn't see his hand too much, so I don't know if he's digging for his second land or if he already has one. No, he has at least a mountain.
Yeah.
He might just go ahead, no matter what these preordain is, play the mountain, electrickery the Vault Scourge to stop Mike from starting the life game.
Yeah. So here we're going to show Tangle, the interaction between Tangle and Flaring Pain, otherwise narrow, but potentially very important in this matchup. So Tangle is a fog, but
with the added bonus that the creatures who attacked that turn don't untap, which even if Jason Flaring Pains will still be relevant.
Yeah.
Because anything that got tangled, even with the damage getting through, will not untap. So if Mike can tangle for value without a turn that Jason is going to necessarily just straight kill him.
Yeah. And Flaring Pain could stop the prevent damage aspect of Tangle. And I think Jason is really in the market to just one-shot Mike. So
I doubt he's going to Flaring Pain without having lethal. Mm-hmm. But should Mike engineer a situation where that happens, he could still get value out of the Tangle, even if the damage prevention.
Yeah. Mike's not quite engineering that situation, but he has a Vault Scourge and a Young Wolf to the board.
All right, so Jason now has his potential win online with the Nivik Cyclops. I know he has a Ponder in hand. He has another Nivik Cyclops. I believe he has... I can't quite tell. I don't think he has the kill next turn locked up, though. Let's see, Mike playing Quirion Ranger, which, as we discovered last game, is kind of nuts.
Yeah. It's going to allow him to replay his land. I don't know if he's going to give any respect to days. Quirion Ranger not particularly good at playing around days.
No, not at all. Jason, however, does not have days, and so the Rancor on the Vault Scourge lands, which is super annoying because, once again, it allows Mike to maybe climb out of range if he gets a few swings in with it.
Yeah. Well, let me rephrase that. It will not play around days unless you sequence suboptimally for other situations.
Yes. Mike, once again, flooding the board.
Yep.
Turn 3, he has 4 creatures out.
And interestingly, 2 of them can bite, 3 of them bite the dust to an
Electrickery?
overloaded Electrickery, but Young Wolf would come back as would the Rancor.
Yes.
And is that what Jason picked up for the turn?
Jason, no, he has a Kiln
Kiln
Fiend.
Okay.
Kiln Fiend, Nivik Cyclops, Ponder. I believe there's a Gush in there. Can't quite see the last card.
Kiln Fiend would allow Jason to get more presence on the board. He has not made his land drop yet. Would you like his Fire at the Gust right here?
Delver. Delver's the last card.
Okay.
So he could Delver, he could Gush now if he wanted to, but I like just passing the turn here.
Yeah, you get more triggers on your turn that are beneficial for attackers. So Mike's going to untap, he's going to draw for a turn, he's going to pick up another Quirion Ranger. The first one's excellent, second one's a bit marginal, but has it nonetheless. I don't know if he necessarily overextend into this.
What are we doing? We are Epic Confrontationing. Worked really well for Mike last game. Let's see. If it helps him clear out one of the...
Oh, what's this? Is this targeting the Cyclops?
Yes, the Cyclops.
Oh, if Jason has Gush in his hand, that would be such a blowout.
Yes, he can straight up kill the Vault Scourge as well, because Vault Scourge right now is a 4/3 with... Or is it... Does Epic Confrontation give +1/+2 or +2/+1?
+1/+2.
+1/+2. So yes, Vault Scourge right now a 4/3.
But you know what? I think Mike might know Gush would blow him out, but he might be willing to do that. That sets back Jason 2 land drops.
Sets back Jason 2 land drops as well as...
Trigger on his turn.
giving up a trigger on his turn.
For both the Kiln Fiend and the Cyclops, and the fact that he's missing his land drops or setback on land drops makes his ability to trigger on subsequent turns less potent.
I think Jason is willing to fire it off. It at least gets the Vault Scourge off the board and stops some of the life gain.
Yeah, he's kind of priced into doing it.
There's an Apostle's Blessing and another Kiln Fiend off the top. So Jason has a Kiln Fiend and another Nivik Cyclops in hand to keep the pressure up.
Yeah.
Rancor goes back to Mike's hand.
He's still got the Quirion Ranger to work with, and now
He can get in unblocked with the Pit Skulk as well. Nothing on Jason's board has 2 power. Oh no, the Kiln Fiend got pumped by that spell as well.
He fought the Vault Scourge, so that was a 4-3 after that confrontation.
Yeah.
So that was just getting off the board. He didn't save the Cyclops.
No, I didn't think he had a chance to save Cyclops, but he could at least clear things out.
Yeah, I think this is looking great for Mike now. He's getting in 4-4.
So I believe the Kiln Fiend can block. It's a 4-2 right now, but
Skulker, that says that's
Pit Skulk. That's right.
Power, right?
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
The Kiln Fiend should be a 4-2 right now, so he could trade it off. I don't know if he wants to, though.
I think Mike would be thrilled with that type of trade.
Yes, I believe that's what...
Secrets is not racing this board.
Nope. Oh, but he's going for it. I mean, Jason does have another Kiln Fiend and Cyclops in his hand, so he might be willing to clear the board a little bit to stop some of the bleeding.
All right. So the Kiln Fiend, a 1-2. It's going to trample over for 2 damage, I believe.
Yep, there we
and
go.
It's going to send Jason to 15. Now it's a Delver versus 2 creatures with Rancor basically doing the...
Oh, Jason, come on. Jason wants this to flip so bad.
One time, dealer.
Oh, got there.
All right. This Ponder is going to transform Delver Secrets into an insectile aberration. Doobity doo wop. This format is Pauper. It is an eternal format. It's not type 1. We do have some vintage in between rounds when we're trying to wait for stuff to fire just for viewership. But this is pretty cool. Superfluous rhetoric. He was saying some inappropriate things, and after timing out, did not cease his act.
Yep. It's 1.x extended. Kinda, yeah. I'll buy that.
So there you go. Rancor hitting the battlefield, going to enchant that Young Wolf, going to crash in for 3. Jason says, bring it on. It's going to go down to 12.
Yes.
Can he cobble together a lethal swing soon?
He's getting a lot closer.
All right. And here we have another Skulker, and he's going to post-combat untap that Young Wolf, and then make another Quirion Ranger.
Yep.
So,
Replaying the same forest.
Now that you've seen Electrickery cast not overloaded on turn 1, do you like jamming that Quirion Ranger?
I don't think Mike saw Electrickery, did he?
There was a turn 1 Electrickery taking out his Vault Scourge. It was not overloaded.
No, Vault Scourge traded with the Nivik Cyclops with the Epic Confrontation.
No, he had 2 Vault Scourges
Oh, he did?
on turn 1 and turn 2.
Oh, wow. I must have completely missed that part. I don't know. I don't mind having 2 Quirion Rangers. It still lets you do silly things.
All right, here's the Ponder. It's going to increase the stone, but more importantly, put a trigger, or trigger the Kiln Fiend.
Yes.
And what does Jason have to work with?
I saw another Bolt, a land, and I think the last card might have been the other Cyclops. Yeah, so Evolving Wilds, Bolt, Nivik Cyclops.
Okay.
This is tricky. Jason probably wants the Bolt, maybe? It's hard to know how good Bolt is here. A lot of Mike's threats are so resilient that it doesn't help a ton. It can clear out the Pit Skulk. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Oh, well. Let's see. Alright. Looks like he's shuffling that away. Because despite Bolt being probably goodish here, Evolving Wilds and another Nivik Cyclops aren't exactly what he wants to be drawing for the next 2 turns. Let's see what he gets instead. Another island, I think it was?
All right, I don't think that's what he was looking for. He had plenty of lands. If anything, I think he might want some red sources, but he shuffled away the...
Evolving Wilds.
Yeah.
He can deploy another Kiln Fiend. I believe he has one more in his hand. Does he?
Go board a little bit more.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a Kiln Fiend. It's going to hit the battlefield. Mike's not going to be able to counter it. Is that going to be good enough? Well, we'll see.
I don't know. The Young Wolf with Rancor on it's going to be a bit of an issue, but Jason's plan right now is to just stay alive and keep one of his pumpy threats up, a Kiln Fiend or an Epic Cyclop, alive. Long enough to sculpt his hand a bit.
Delver Secrets, as an insectile vibration, staying back on defense tells you what he thinks about how this game is going. He needs to be defensive and try to establish some control before hopefully one-shotting Mike.
Yeah, like Mike being at 20 is fine. He doesn't need to whittle away at Mike's total because his plan is to just get him from 20 to 0 and 1. Once Mike starts going above 20 is when things get a little more tricky for Jason. All right, so I didn't see what Mike had in his hand.
Vines of the Vastwood.
Vines of a Vastwood, and I can't tell what that card below it is.
You know,
Vines could be a bit of a blowout here depending on how this plays out.
there's some merit to getting in with the Young Wolf and the Pit Skulker. Presumably, he's going to send everyone.
Just serve. Just get dead, Jason. That's the plan, I guess.
Yeah, and if the Rancor goes back in his hand, putting it on the Skulker and then next turn having Vines of the Vastwood up makes that extremely hard to block.
It's true. What? Let's see. Jason, I don't believe, has any spells he can cast instant speed with no mana at this point. He has an Apostle's Blessing, but he needs 1 mana for that.
I think he runs Gut Shot and Gush, right?
Yes, but I don't think they're in his hand.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a Gush. Is that a Gush? Can't tell.
No, wait.
That might be a Gush. Jason keeps... Oh, no, that's an island.
Okay. Well, all right.
Gush's art is very generic looking. Let's see where he blocks. Yep, just going to kill the Quirion Rangers. Trade off with the Pit Skulk. Mike could just eat something with that Vines of the Vastwood if he wants.
Yeah, I think he's going to do that. That actually went pretty well for Jason in terms of, okay, so he's already behind on board, but he only took 3 and wiped out 2 of his creatures and got a Vines out of Mike's hand.
And
So
most importantly, he kept one of his creatures that allows him to 20 Mike alive.
However, I still think Mike is favored from this board state.
Does untap a blocker. Yeah, Mike is still very ahead. It's just Jason's deck has the ability to go from super behind to I've won in a turn. Another mana is not quite what he's looking for.
So it's going to lead off of a Ponder. It's going to trigger the Kiln Fiend. Let's see if he can find what he needs to actually have his Kiln Fiend pay off. That Electrickery that he found, I think it's going to, actually 2 for 1 Mike, but Young Wolf is going to be Undying.
It's fine. So we get a Ponder. Oh, Electrickery. That can at least reset that Young Wolf. Make Mike have to spend more mana to put that Rancor back on it.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting close. The Apostle's Blessing can go straight onto the Kiln Fiend. Does he have the Battle Rage in his hand?
I don't believe I saw it, and I'm going to pull up the art just so we can give a better comparison. Yeah, I don't think I see anything that resembles that other than the Electrickery that we've already established in his hand.
Quad J Shabadoo, I have no idea what you're talking about. that is quite a rant, but I think you might be in the wrong chat.
It's possible. I do enjoy multi-twitching from time to time.
So Jason's looking to set up a little more for next turn.
Okay.
Which I like. Diversifying your threats so you can put the Apostle's Blessing on what you need it to can be very good.
That's a nice draw. Another Vines of Vastwood.
It's a copy-paste thing that Gerald Smash Brothers. Okay, fair enough.
Okay. Dealing with a crazy person here.
And Mike could get a bit of a blowout here. Gets the...
It's going to be a 7/5 Trampler. It's going to crash in 4/3 trample damage. Take Jason down to 6.
Yep.
And Mike's looking pretty good here.
Probably untaps the Young Wolf, replays that forest.
And what's that? Is that a River Bowl in his hand?
I think it might be. It's not something that Mike really wants to spend an entire turn and tap out to do in any case. Do not think it is currently relevant. So, Kiln Fiend, now 4-2.
So he hasn't played a land yet for the turn, right? So if he
I don't
plays
believe so.
another cantrip or another spell into a Teamer Battle Rage, he's a little short.
He's
Lightning
real
Bolt.
close.
Yeah.
He has the Apostle's Blessing to force the damage through. He still has enough life to pay for it.
Oh, wow. He needs
Like Trickery.
Oh, that's Lightning
Another
Bolt.
bolt.
Well, we're getting close.
There weren't that many freed decks. There were 2 freed from the real decks today.
I think there were 0 actually.
I thought I saw 1. Weird.
Well, we can figure this out real quickly.
Jason firing off that Electrickery, resetting Mike's board essentially. Now Mike just has a 2-2.
And a Rancor in hand.
There was 1 freed from the real
One
deck.
freed from the real deck. That player went 3 and 2.
Did not quite do well enough to make the top 8.
All right, 10-point swing from Jason.
It's pretty good. Oh, I see. So he Electrickeried and then bolted the Young Wolf.
Okay.
So just clear off Mike's board, which puts him in a pretty terrible spot, actually.
Well, if he could draw a force, I think he had the River Bowl, right?
Yep, I believe that's
He
River
really
Boa.
needed a force to actually be able to chump off profitably.
Yes. Battle Rage is pretty big game here.
Lightning
Bolt.
That
that
is lethal because he has the Apostle's Blessing in hand.
Bolt
Oh,
puts
but
it
he went
up.
upstairs?
No, he cleared out the blocker.
Oh, but didn't he have is that not an Apostle's Blessing in his hand then?
He does have an Apostle's Blessing. He could have probably killed Mike that turn, because Bolt takes Mike down to 7, plus 6 for 2 spells. So yeah, he
Would have
could
been
have.
exacties if that was an Apostle's Blessing, which I'm not sure that was actually the case.
I think it was. I think that's what he's been holding on to.
In any case, he could crash in for 7 this turn.
I think he still has it.
Yeah.
So there's 1, so it's a 4-2. Staring down another 4-2. Did not see Teamer Battle Rage, so those cards immediately go to the bottom, and draws another island. So Jason's starting to flood out a bit here.
Well, maybe that's not a blessing.
Nope, that's what
Oh,
it is.
that is a blessing. Okay,
Yep.
so he could have had the last turn.
So that takes him down to 4, but it does make Kiln Fiend a 7-2
If he
with
named the
Pro
right
Green.
color.
I am assuming Jason did not have an aneurysm, so
Yeah, and Mike would not have to block.
how did Teachings do today?
Teachings, I think there was one deck. It got paired against a pretty rough matchup on camera. Teachings, so one player on Teachings went 4 and 2, not bad. Finished 12th.
Yep, just a little bit too far out of the running for top 8, but
Yes.
real close.
So let's go ahead and take another quick look at the standings since there seems to be some interest. So Trent Allen, who we had on camera, I think as a backup match, he went 4 and 2 with his Teachings deck.
Let's see, is he on here? No. So Ian Dixon was just out of the top 16. I believe he's like 17 or 18, somewhere in there. He was playing a very weird Tron list that was also playing Teachings. It was kind of weird. Rolling Thunder was its big kill condition.
Yeah. Keep in mind these are the standings as of
End
the
of-
semis.
Yes.
Right now, Mike has the edge over Jason. They're both in the finals, and Mike is the higher seed. But once this match finishes,
Jason
we'll have-
killing it on the tiebreakers, though.
Yeah. Oh man, 68.3.
Yeah, Mike did lose his first round and then 5-0 the rest of Swiss to
Yeah.
get here.
Okay, so we're looking back at the sideboard. I don't think anything particularly changes. Those electrickeries that we saw did quite a bit of work. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure nothing changes in this case. It's going to rely on that to sweep up the board, and that electrickery is what allowed him to actually,
Pull it out, yeah.
yeah.
Because he needed the 2 removal spells for the Young Wolf, and it also cleared out the remaining Quirion Ranger.
Yeah.
For Mike, probably still the Tangles and the Epic Confrontation.
Yeah, well, the epic confrontation was a bit underwhelming. The Tango would have been better, and Flaring Pain is the only comment I can think of that could possibly even answer Tango. I think I might like that a little bit more than the epic confrontation. Just because you don't know how powerful a creature is going to be on Jason's end.
Yes.
So let's see. Okay, we got a
you're
lightning
starting
fast
already.
dart. Young Wolf from Mike Kiesel met by a Ponder.
And it looks like Jason did not like whatever that Ponder was. But can you put the chat back up, too? There we go. The Pedal Festival deck. It's a very, very dirtily arcane deck that does absolutely nothing until the turn it kills you.
So runs a bunch of enchantment auras that go on lands and let your lands untap for more mana.
With, what is it, something puppetry. I forget.
Psychic puppetry.
Psychic puppetry.
So your goal is to put something like Market Festival on one of your lands, multiple auras preferably, and then you play a bunch of arcane spells and keep cycling psychic puppetry on there.
Yes.
And then eventually you get Petals of Insight to loot through your deck, find the card you need. Meanwhile, splicing with Arcane to go infinite if necessary.
Yes.
And then killing with one of many potential win conditions.
Dampen Thought, I believe, is one of the ones that Charles used. Anyway.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mike has deployed a Quirion Ranger. Jason has got a Delver out and is able to set it up a little bit with that Preordain.
Yeah.
So Delver likely flipping.
Yeah. We got a question in the chat from Brian Cuneo. He wants to know what kind of life counter app that is.
I believe it is called Mutility. M-U, like M-Utility. Yeah, like that. Like is going in the chat in just a second. All right, we have a Nettle Sentinel for Mike. I believe this Delver should flip with a Bolt. Pretty good. If Bolt's going to hit anything here, it's probably the Quirion Ranger, but we'll find out.
Well, what's in his hand?
Has the red source. He has an Apostle's Blessing, a Gush, a Negate. Like holding, he might want to hold up that Negate in case Mike gets a Rancor going. If Mike had one, he would have deployed it given the amount of mana he has open, but Rancor is by far one of the most annoying cards in Mike's deck for Jason to deal with.
Yeah, I like preordaining before attacking, just so you know what you're working with before you decide whether to get aggressive.
Yep. Especially since Delver is not actually the preferred creature in Jason's deck. This is one of the few decks where Delver is the creature you throw in because you are forced to play more threats than you want.
Yeah, I agree. This deck would love Young Pyromancer if that were common.
Yes. What is it? We Dragonauts is like the worst version of all the things that deck plays.
Oh, yeah. The Argonauts or Dragon? Yeah, I think
it's Dragonauts, yeah. We'll throw it up there just because why wouldn't we? There we
It
go.
was actually in the Izzet versus the Gogogari Grave deck.
Something like that, yeah.
Instant or sorcery.
And there's that Rancor. Let's see if Jason wants to throw out that Negate. If not now, then when is my question.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are many other...
Like, you can hit a Vines of the Vastwood or something with it, but that doesn't seem like...
Yeah.
I love Dragonauts too, doobie-doo-up.
Oh, it looked like that was... Oh, maybe that's a tank.
Yeah, I hope that Jason's thinking about this. He should really think about this pretty hard.
Oh, crap.
Stop hitting buttons.
It looks like there's some Oracle text being gathered here. I think he's probably figuring out Rancor if it gets countered, whether that actually sets...
Yes, if Rancor gets countered, that is one of the few ways to make sure it never comes back to the thing. Sanitarium Skeleton found a home in Pauper. None of the decks I saw today were playing it.
Well, it looks like I botched the link. I apologize for that, but hopefully you got an idea between...
Mutility is iOS
John's
only,
list.
unfortunately. Which is sad, because it is very clean and simple. Mike, going in with everything.
Getting in
Rancor
for
did
four,
get
hopefully.
countered.
He's going to try to probably block the Korean Ranger.
I don't
does Mike
see
have
why
anything
not.
up his sleeve? Well, there's potential pump spells to be...
There's a total bunch of pump spells, and we're going to Vines to clear out that. Pretty decent blowout for
Yeah.
Mike there.
Oh, that
Let's
is
see.
a Tangle in his hand. Let's go pull up this art again, because this may be very relevant in a few turns.
Yes, Tangle is a big deal. Let's see if Jason has another. He has a Cyclops he can deploy. He is out of lands, though. So if he goes Cyclops, he's essentially shields down.
All right, here we have a Cyclops.
I mean, the Cyclops can block anything on board. Oh, there we go, Gush.
Yeah, and this is not going to be a useful trigger, but I think he really just needs to find more action. And he's going to miss his land drop anyway, so might as well fire up the Gush right now.
I don't know where the thing is. That better superfluous rhetoric? Am I closer to the mic now?
Coughed.
No. But I'm coughing so much that it's hard to remember every time.
This
to put my
guy's a
hand
real
over the thing.
trooper. I mean, if we had another employee here, like in a commentary booth, I think Cornejo wouldn't need to cough, but unfortunately, Some things just weren't meant to be.
Sorry, Nokley. Sorry, everybody. I stopped it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Please, I'm sorry.
I didn't know this. I'm here as.
It's okay, Russ. We still love you anyway.
All right, get back here. All right, so here we have Ponder triggering the Cyclops once again. This Cyclops can do a lot of work on defense.
Yes.
Given the contents of Mike's hand, maybe not so much on offense.
No, Mike needs to find like a Savannah Ledgewalker or the Pit Skulk, something like that, to start getting through the Cyclops. Otherwise, the Cyclops is just going to start eating all of his creatures.
All right, pepperonis. I could really use some food right now, but it's. Yeah,
you've been a trooper. You've been here this whole time.
I really love streaming, man.
Big round of applause for Sean Yu, everybody.
I also got some delicious food from Mox Cafe, right next to Card Kingdom, adjacent, same venue. It's delicious. Check it out sometime. Oh, okay.
David, we will keep that in mind for next time. Jason with a grip full of cards here. Options galore. Let's see what he chooses to do.
Two copies of Vines,
Apostles Blessing.
Apostles Blessing.
I think there's
you can
another
name both
Gush.
green and also name Black or Artifact in case the Outskirts shows up.
Indeed. Only other relevant thing in Mike's deck for Apostles Blessing. He does have the Teamer Battle Rage.
Yeah. Oh, here's a team of Battle Rage. He's going all in
He
right
does have a Gush too, I believe, but...
All right, here we go. Oh, Mike is...
Mike, the problem is this isn't going to be a 20 anyway.
Well, here's a Gush. That's going to be another trigger.
Yeah,
that's,
so
that's a 10.
this is now a 10-4. This is now a yes sir, good buddy. But Mike can still block and not quite get 20'd at this point, unless Jason found one of his other Phyrexian spells.
I don't think Mike's going to block. You know why? Tango. High five.
Tangle.
Jason,
we got it.
excellent
We
sport.
got there. We did it. Tangle works, everybody.
He's going to give it a good read, and while he's giving a good read, we're going to just go pull this back up on camera.
So that Nivik Cyclop is not going to untap during the next turn.
Mike is very happy. He got to play a Tango on camera, save 20
I
lives.
can't quite see what Jason wrote there. Oh well.
Yeah, let's go figure out what he wrote, because this is might be amusing.
Indeed. So, Jason now with all of the cards in his hand, he does get a land drop. Oh no, he already played a land for the turn. Sad. Discarding at least one of the Apostles' Blessings. I don't know what that card underneath it is.
Jason, being the good sport he is, indicated good play on his notepad.
Fair enough. All right,
I think
so
if you're going to bring in a card to do something, you can go ahead and do it.
Mike gets a free turn to swing in. This is the turn that Nivik Cyclops does not untap. Mike was also able to deploy Garrick's Companion, so there's a lot of damage that is going to be coming Jason's way.
There is 8
Did
points
Mike
on board right now.
miss his untap trigger on that Nettle Sentinel? I don't know. I think he might have played that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have just missed it.
Don't
but
think it's super relevant because Query Ranger could untap it if necessary, but
True.
it did look like he missed a trigger. Unless he played a pre-combat.
And on Mike's upkeep, we are going to elect Trickery, which does get rid of the Quirion Ranger, does make the Young Wolf not able to attack this turn, and Mike immediately reloads with another Quirion Ranger, untaps.
That Young Wolf can't swing in. I think they realized. Judge,
Yep,
quick
there we
to figure this out. Oh, and the companion got played pre-combat, obviously playing around.
Oh, he played it in the wrong
click,
order.
right?
There we go. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so Jason in a bad spot here. If he can one-shot Mike, now would be the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, you know, he looked like he was in a bad situation, game 2, but he managed to pull it out.
He has the Teamer Battle Rage. He has... Does he have an Apostle's Blessing or something to force damage through? He does have an Apostle's Blessing. He has a land. He needs one free spell. He needs to be able to cast 3 spells. Okay. 3 spells, with one of them being a Teamer Battle Rage, lets Jason 20 him.
Okay, here's step 1.
Here's step 1. Apostle's Blessing, named green. He has a Gush. He does have 3 spells that can do this.
Teamer Battle Rage.
Teamer Battle
I
Rage.
think he has it.
He hasn't unless Mike has another Tangle or something.
Oh, and Gus is going to be the third trigger. That is a 10-4 double striking trampling pro green.
And that
Mike
will
extends
do
the
it.
hand. Oh, wow.
Jason does what his deck does, 20s Mike in one turn. That is why
I
Nivik
didn't think he
Cyclops.
was going to pull that off, but yeah, he got there. And we're going to go back in the booth.
That is why
Terrific.
Nivik Cyclops is great and one of the best standard decks of all time, even though it didn't perform that well when it was actually in standard.
I didn't even know that was played in standard.
Yeah, you played that with Artful Dodge and Geist of St. Traft and just built up a hand that could just 26'd a guy in one turn once. It was great.
Okay, well, that was pretty exciting. So our champion, Jason Schumacher. Let's see if we can get him on camera for an interview.
Yeah,
Your
I will
voice
go
is dying.
grab him.
Maybe I'll interview him.
All right, I will see if Jason wants to get interviewed real quick. Be right
All
back.
right. So go ahead and look back at this top 8 bracket. Our champion is Jason Schumacher. That was a really sweet finish to an exciting night of Magic. 20 points. He presented 20 points. Got tangled up. Had a stall for 2 turns, and then 2 turns later, he just presented another 20 with protection from green off of Apostle Blessing. Took the tournament in lightning fast fashion with a really all-in move. So I'm just gonna sit here and chill out in the booth a little bit until Jason hopefully joins me right here. Hey guys, Sean Yu here. Just finished the finals round. Here we got Jason Schumacher on camera. I'm gonna stand up, congratulate you. Would you like to take a seat and grab the mic? Hey, congratulations. That was an awesome finish.
Thank you.
Yeah, and great sportsmanship too. You gave him a high five that tango, but
I mean, the only thing that I really want to know is I want to know how many times did I end up punting on that second game?
I noticed one where you probably could have gotten lethal, but you got it again next turn anyway. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a punt. It's a really long day. We're all tired. But I mean, hey, you did not lose a single match on the day.
I did. I lost one match.
Oh,
I lost one
round
match
three, okay.
against my quarterfinalist.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was right. And then you beat him in the semis, right?
Redemption, right?
Okay, so you got him back when it mattered, and then you lost a lightning fast game 1 in the finals. Looked like it was downhill from you, and you looked like you were very far behind on board. But your deck just has this ability to just come out of nowhere and just 20 shot your opponent.
It can. One thing that I wasn't entirely sure how much in that matchup you're supposed to end up kind of bolting out and keeping control over your opponent's creatures and establishing control and going for the slow game. Vines of Vast was a really good card, and I've gotten blown out by Vines on my dude to prevent Temur Battle Rage before, and so I just wanted to make sure I had the capacity to be able to play around that.
Yeah, that's interesting because he could Vines your creature or his, but you don't need Apostle Blessing your own.
Exactly,
Yeah,
right.
so it's a little bit asymmetric.
Yeah.
But take us through games 2 and 3. Did you ever feel like you were just out of the game completely? And then obviously you weren't because you managed to scrape things together and pull off a lethal attack. But
No, I don't feel like I was ever out of the game in 2 or 3. I felt like, I'm still not sure about the play in terms of trying to go 1-for-1 and controlling the board on game 2, but so I wasn't entirely sure about that, but I think it ended up working out. I had a lot of threats in my hand, and I knew that if I kept doing the attrition thing, I wouldn't end up getting blown out by Vines, and that was the biggest part I was worried about.
okay, yeah, that's certainly a sound strategy and paid off. When he cast that Tango, was that on your radar? I think you played Russ Martin in the Swiss, right?
Yes. I knew that he had Tangle in his deck. I knew that it was a possibility that I could wait an additional turn and keep Dispel mana up before I end up swinging in for lethal. But I also knew that my hand was strong enough to come back if he didn't have the Tangle, and I didn't know whether they were playing the same list.
All right, so he got you when you tried attacking for 20. He did have blockers because you didn't have Pro Green yet. You got tangled, but your hand was still good enough at that point you knew you could rebuild?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, that was really exciting from a viewership perspective because we saw ups and downs for both you and Mike, and you managed to pull it off.
Well, it was
Really
fun.
worthy champion.
It was fun to do round 1 on camera and then the last round on camera.
Oh yeah, we had
and
you round 1, huh?
Good first Pauper tournament,
Yeah,
right?
you played against Aleko, who was a finalist in the last
Yeah,
tournament.
he's
so-
good. Very nice guy.
Yeah, terrific. And you played excellently on camera throughout the day. Anything you'd like to say to the chat or comments on the tournament, the lists, anything?
Not really. It's really interesting to see kind of the metagame at Card Kingdom.
Yeah.
Lots of Kiln Fiend, lots of mono black control.
Did you ever get a look at this metagame right here? I'll pull it up later, but got a pie chart actually. I'm gonna take you here so that the viewers could look at something
Sure.
else. But yeah, it's a breakdown of how
Cool.
the metagame went. So
Yeah.
you were on one of the most popular decks, and you played it better than anyone else because you won the
Well,
tournament.
I like to hear that. I will give credit to other people who played the deck, though. I
Yeah.
got a fair amount of luck there.
Certainly, you got to play well, but also get lucky in order to take down a big tournament like this.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, hey, pleasure to have you in here.
Hey.
Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
win. Hope to see you at Rags and Riches 5, which is presumably going to be in about 2 months.
Got a title to defend.
Yeah, certainly. Take care. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot. We had 9 sweet rounds of Popper action between Swiss and the elimination rounds, and culminating in one of the most exciting finishes I have seen on camera yet, especially
Yes.
in Popper. So,
That was pretty good.
yeah.
That was definitely. I'm glad the slog happened this time in the quarterfinal round as opposed to later on, like it has in every other pop tournament we've ever done.
Yeah. So, a lot of fun here. We're gonna take you out.
So just so everybody knows, the next Rags to Riches is about 2 months from now. It will be sometime, what is this, May? So July, I forget the exact date off the top of my head. Tentative name for that one is the Rags to the Riches 5, Rocky 4.
Rocky 4. Okay. All right. And from Card Kingdom, we're gonna take us out of here.
Don't
Thank you
forget
guys
that
for tuning
coupon,
in.
guys.
If you like what you saw, give us a follow. Visit cardkingdom.com or the Twitter, YouTube addresses are shown here. We got
Those things
coupon,
down. Let's see if I can. Oh, there we go.
CK Stream. And if you like what you saw, hopefully we'll see you here on Monday for some Legacy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks,
Good night,
everybody.
guys.